I wanted to talk to you today about why successful people have coaches. And this is something that's been asked of me. So I thought, good question. Let's have a little think. I've asked successful people, and then I've got my own opinion on why it is. But first of all, I want to talk about sports, because I think that's an area that we have become really accustomed to our athletes, our sports personalities having a coach. It's the norm. It would be, in fact, slightly odd. So take Wimbledon, one of my favorites. It would be probably kind of weird if the tennis player that you're watching and supporting turned up without their coach or didn't work with the coach. So we're really familiar with our athletes and our sports personalities having a coach to increase their performance, but also often to help with their mental agility and getting focused and getting ready for the competition ahead. So they, in a way, are a really good example of success. And so that kind of brings me to say, let's 5 points. I'll 5-point it, I'll 5-reason it. So my first is that successful people want to achieve their goals faster. And working with a coach enables them to do that. You know, if you've got a game, a deadline, something's coming up, you need to get to the end as fast as possible. Successful people also want personalized and goals that are specific to their challenges, specific to their life situations. And that's something that you can really work through with a coach. Again, a coach in the sporting world will really help identify those situations or those challenges perhaps that player is experiencing and help them through that. Number 3, everybody gets stuck. Everybody has a bad day. And even successful people have those days. And so coaching really helps support you through the difficult times and maintain the clarity, the focus, the determination. And this sort of brings me to my next point, is that, number 4, successful people know and recognize the power of team. This idea that we have to achieve everything alone just doesn't get the results that we want. So sustainable success comes from having the right tribe around us. And number 5, coaching increases confidence and, enables a person to have a winning mindset. Our mind can be a really interesting place. So if you're working with somebody that can help you with it, that's trained, that's skilled in that area, that can really support you moving forward. And sometimes that old saying is really, really true. It can be really lonely at the top. So successful people recognize that actually, in order to keep motivated, to keep going, to keep the success that they've become accustomed to, that actually working with the right individuals at the right time really helps propel them forward and keeps moving them through into the next potential. So that really, in a kind of nutshell, is 5 points why successful people work with coaches. It's really important to work with the right type of coach. And often, as I mentioned in point number 4, is that successful people will work with lots of different coaches and lots of different people at different times. So I'll give you an example of something that I've done. Is I've hired and worked with a marketing coach, but also working with a personal coach at the same time, because I recognize the person that I'm working with from a marketing perspective can help me there. But I also want somebody who's trained and a specialist in more of the emotional and the psychological work, the stuff that actually gets in our way. Often we can find that we need to, yes, understand certain functions or be able to do certain things in our businesses, but when it comes to ourselves, we really need to focus on making sure that we partner with the right person that can help us there. And actually, that's an area that I like to focus on with my clients. Is, yes, we can talk about the fundamentals of the business, but it's really important to sort of deep dive, do the inner work, make sure that actually the mindset, the psychology, everything behind the business, i.e. the person, is doing okay, as well as other elements. So that's it, really. I think that's kind of a good overview of why successful people use coaches, and why, you know, I hope that they will continue to experience their success. But I think that's the point, is in answer to it, is think about our sporting world. I think that's, you know, often that's the origins of where coaching comes from, and one that we can kind of understand really easily, and see that as a really good reason why getting a coach is, I couldn't live without one now, and being one is the greatest job in the world. So, you know, maybe now is the time to advance your performance, to propel yourself towards that success by working with a coach.